Hello, this is Teresa, and welcome to my messy desk. I'm going to check my technology here real quick. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, so it should actually be, there it is, popped right on. Okay, so I thought I'd switch things up a little bit. I have shared in previous videos a little bit about me, and probably not so much my politics, but my faith and family life and a few other things like that. So I thought I would switch things up a little bit. And first of all, kind of like what I do with Junk Journal January and Junk Journal July, and every day I write down a day's verse. And today's verse was, "He that covereth his sins shall not prosper, but whoso confesseth and forsaken them shall have mercy." And that is Proverbs 28:13. And sometimes my teeth don't want to cooperate, and I don't pronounce my own English as well as I should. But they're my teeth, but they just don't always work. So and then I wanted to welcome you and let you know that all of my contact information is in the description. And so if there's anything that you don't see, feel free to reach out. Like if you wanted to email, I think I have my address in there in case you wanted to send like a self-addressed stamped envelope and say, "Hey Teresa, do you have any extras?" You know, because I do have extras, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later on. So I create my videos live, and if you're here with me live, the chat is open. So a little bit to reiterate about me, because I have shared these things before. My passion is family, even when they're being turds, which I've shared about that before. But most of all, God and my husband, I am thankful for, and that I'm able to live a full-time RV life. And that is currently being done in Napa, Idaho, but we are on our way to Arizona very soon. So today, the title of today's video is Button, Who's Got the Button? So some of you that are my age or older probably are familiar with that saying. It's from a game. And if you're not familiar with it, if you're younger and have never heard of it, then I encourage you to Google it, because it's a fun idea. So while I'm crafting, I'm going to chat about how you can put this in your journal. And I also wanted to start talking about how you can journal, write in your journal. And now, thus far, when I write in my journal, it's been Junk Journal January or Junk Journal July. But I'm really trying to change that and do something different with that. Now, I've done it a little bit in respect to, I write in my, let's see, this is my glue. Whoa, crash bang, it's gotten really heavy, so I'm gonna have to put a handle on it. But this is my glue book, and yesterday I started what is that called? I made it bigger. Just say it how it is. So I'm still in the process of doing that. Some of the pages started to tear out while I was doing it. So I kept as much of the book bound as it was before, but I needed it to be bigger because I was running out of room. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a Midori binding, and I'm going to make 1 or 2 signatures to go in the middle. So these pages that became disconnected, I will just mat them onto a piece of scrapbook paper or something like that, and then they will go in one or two of the signatures. I don't know how many signatures are going to be in there, but this is my new glue book. I've got some fabric coming. I'm going to cover this up with fabric. I tried really hard to make this even here and this even here, but it didn't work. But so far it's holding together, and that's awesome. Okay, so, oh gosh, I got that out to say something and then I didn't say it. So as far as writing in my journal book, this is like a journal, and I am, whoops, that's upside down. Of course it is. So like I write things like scrap label clusters with the twists, and I got the idea from Camilla Craft Designs. So not only that, but I will start putting verses in here, scripture, and whatever else strikes my fancy. And I want to do that more with, so my journals that I use are basically ephemera type journals or idea journals. The reason why that got so big was because I took my prompt journal apart and I added everything from my prompt journal into that. So my other main journal that I'm going to be using is my big ephemera book. So I will start, what I want to say, embellishing this, personalizing it. That's what I wanted. More in some of these empty areas. Some of these are going to be used to put another page on there. And then I also will start writing in this too. So that's where I'm planning on going with my journaling. And then from there, maybe I'll do just a journal that isn't necessarily an ephemera journal, but I really like the productivity of a journal that is an ephemera holder. So that while I'm creating more stuff, it will work just fine. So, okay. There's that. So journaling like this is complicated, but I love to write, and writing down my thoughts helps me because I have so many things going on in my head and I just need to get them out of my head. So for instance, one of the things that prompted me was the other day I woke up to a post from Rubber Stamp and Everything Paper Crafts from Sale from a moderator. She was basically accusing me of not using PayPal. She was being a grump. And so this evolved me to thinking about the type of personality it takes to so unnecessarily bitchy with complete strangers that have done nothing wrong. So many of these groups are like that, and they're like a Gestapo. But I was thought, you know, I can write this kind of stuff in my journal. These are raw thoughts. I'm not trying to be politically correct. I'm not trying to not hurt anybody else's feelings. I'm trying to get my emotions out, my thoughts out. And while a couple of the YouTubers that I watch, I think they're very transparent. They're very out there as far as saying what they think when they think and how they think it, and that's great. I would love to see more of that, but sometimes I think people try to PG it because they're afraid, like, oh, if I say damn, you know, and somebody doesn't cuss, that's going to offend them. Well, I'm not here to be somebody that I'm not. So if I talk the way that I normally do, it's not to offend people, it's to be real and to be who I am. So anyways, I'm working on trying to transition that kind of me into my YouTube videos. How long did it? Took me 10 minutes to explain that. I hope that wasn't too long drawn out. So let's get started with button. Already, who's got the button is the name of this video. So I got this idea from a YouTube channel called Journals for Life, and she was posting this idea as journal closures, mainly like travel notebooks and stuff is what it looked like. So I don't have a travel notebook handy, but let's just take this tablecloth that I use to photograph on sometimes. Now, say this was a travel notebook, about like that. Then you could take this and you would put it like that, and then you would bring it around, and then you would close it like that. And look how cute that is. Very, very cute. So I made a couple to show the idea, and then I got to thinking more about this idea. And I got to thinking, golly gee, you could take a pack of journal cards. Now this one, I put it on like that, but if my closure was big enough, I could put it on like this. That one's too big. So I was thinking I would have some extras or some pre-made ones. This one way too big. But how fun would that be to have different sizes just kind of hanging out. Now this one is really tiny, and I still left some of the string on it because I just wanted to give an example of how sometimes you can put, oh, the fly's gonna bug me again. You can put two pieces together, and that's so small, what in the world would it fit on? I don't know, but it's important to have these kind of things just kind of hanging out, so that if the opportunity presents itself, like maybe you've got a hidden paper clip that's kind of small, and you could put it over the hidden paper clip. Now these here are vintage buttons. These are all vintage buttons. And then this one is from some buttons that I got from Amazon. Another fun thing I did was I took this one with a button from Amazon, and I experimented with how it could be used to close my hardback journal. So using different kinds of buttons is really cool. Let's see. Yep, so like that it kind of will hold, but even then it doesn't really matter if it doesn't hide that. I think it still looks cool. In fact, one of mine, I did it so that, yeah, this one, I did it so that, right here, because we see buttons like that all the time, don't we? You can use different elastic. I had some white somewhere, but I can't find it right now. So right now all I have is black. But like sometimes you see this type of elastic on presents, or you could buy other elastic that's different colors. You can use all different kinds of buttons. These are all a bunch of buttons that I got from Amazon. And what I'm going to do, if I can get in here without crash banging some more. Whoops, that's not what I want. Okay, I have this bag of buttons. Now, I don't know that I will ever even go through those, because on top of those, I have a jar of vintage buttons. So, and there's a lot of buttons in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to list these buttons on my Ko-fi site, and I'm going to list these as I'm going to list these 5 for $1. One of the things I'm trying to keep in mind is how am I going to send these off if someone buys them. So I was thinking 10 for $1, but 10 might not be a good idea. And I don't really know. Okay. So I would take an envelope and I would put one, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 for $1 would be 20 cents each. So if I did 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I do just want to get rid of this bag of buttons, and that's 10. That would be 10 cents a button. I wonder how much I paid for these. You know what? I'm gonna go, because it's starting to feel pretty bulky, and I'm thinking I might even do like a journal card and put the buttons on, put the 5 buttons on, and then you get a journal card and 5 buttons for $1. And then that would fit in an envelope really nicely. I think it would be flat enough. I would still put hand stamp on the front here, but I think it would go through them now. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do 5 buttons for $1, and I'm going to put that in my Ko-fi shop, and there's a link in the description for my Ko-fi shop, and it'll be, you know, buttons bundle is what it'll say, and it'll be 5 buttons on a journal card. So let me know in the comments, or I think you can communicate with me from my Ko-fi shop. Let me know if you think 5 for $1 is a fair price, and let's just see how well we can be about helping me to get rid of this bag of buttons. Okay, and then maybe if I don't start using these, I might even offer these. So there's a lot of different buttons in there, but now I'm starting to come up with ideas for how to use them. Like, you know, even on a journal card. Buttons are cute on a journal card, along with a wax seal or something like that. I really wasn't sure how I was going to use these buttons, but now that I came up with this idea, that's going to be a lot of fun to use these buttons as journal closures. Okay, so button, who's got the button? Teresa does, and she's going to put them in her Ko-fi shop for sale. And then how fun is it going to be to mass make these and have them available in your stash? Yeah, how fun will that be? Okay, so thanks for taking time to watch this video. I hope that something I showed you was inspiring, sharing the other gal's idea. And I hope that you enjoyed the honesty during this craft chat. And if you were inspired, please hit the like button, or if you weren't inspired, go ahead and hit the dislike button. I truly enjoy reading any comments that are posted. One gal posted 2 comments in the same video on my last video, and it was such a blessing. It's a blessing also when folks subscribe, and I wish God's blessings on all of you, and I hope to see you in the next